of app/ori hashtag 136199 underscore Eris question mark time equals 2026-04-23T-23-29-16-479 plus 0000. So this is the website of what NASA has for our solar system. You can zoom in, and I'm going to try to update it with my system. It's not, I don't know if it's their website concurrently or the instance of me being able to make my bytecode array for a universal basin with the machine that I'm using. Um, Here are currently where all of our satellites are. Here's Voyager, here's Pioneer, here's New Horizons, here's Hale-Bopp, here's Halley's Comet, here's Pioneer 10, here's Voyager 2, here's Neptune, here's Saturn, here's Uranus, here's Jupiter, here's the Sun, here's Wild 2, here's Vesta, here's Haumea, here's Pluto, here's Erikoth, here's Eris. I'll zoom in some more. I might be able to patch in my video feed from my Machina, my satellite I launched a long time ago. Non-intrusive, non-harmful. But I'm trying to zoom in more right now. 1 second. Here, let me double click on something. There we go. Here's Mars. So here's all the locations. Here's the orbiter, Trace Gas Orbiter, Mars Odyssey, Mars Express, Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, Perseverance, sorry. Mars is a dusty, cold desert world with a very thin atmosphere. There is strong evidence Mars was billions of years ago wetter and warmer with a thicker atmosphere, which is very true. If we click the Martian system, we might be able to see its heat map. If I can get it to work, or on a different website, that is. So I'm going to switch my screen real quick to show you my bytecode overlay of updating this, as it's my own instance of monitoring, which is, as far as I know, perfectly legal. So I'll also show you everything I'm working on with my computer right now. I'll switch screens real quick. 1 second. Um, Here's what I'm working on for my OS process right now. It's a ring. It kind of stabilizes instances of my entire processes. I can zoom in on it. That was it taking care of a quarantine hack, malevolent instance of a hack. Um, these are all the sub-process. Now let me show you the screen where I update the bytecode array from my mathematics. So this is Pop-Tart. Alright, so here's the instance of me trying to make an artificial intelligence get it to happen. This is how my bytecode relay works. It's not debilitating anybody's system. It's kind of just making a system where it perpetually stabilizes mine through translation within the central processing unit. And it is a Lenovo, so I can turn on the camera, I can shut off the camera, I can do all of that. I'm functioning on a different camera, so I can't turn off that one. Um, so I'm going to do an algebraic equation real quick and see if I can update that universal sim. Okay, so this equation is solving y for x if y equals 0 -2. Um, so here goes nothing. Let's see if the website updated. Let me switch back to the website. So let's see if we can go any further out now. Now let's see if it's not 2D interstopic, two-dimensional. I got an equation wrong. Wait, hold up. Did I get an equation wrong? Voyager 2, Pioneer 10. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering if that is on my reverb, if somebody's saying I don't deserve that coin, I don't know. It could be. But this, as far as I know, is the concurrent genuine approximation of our galaxy. Um, this is the concurrent build for every sun, mass sun, and everything within the galaxy. the Milky Way. Let's zoom in over here, see if we can. Um, Let me add the artificial intelligence I'm working with and have it update, self-update, and see if we can't get a better picture. And especially if I can put it into a window. So the core rule would be for this algorithmic intelligence of the sim that I'm building for the universal sim is 3x equals y. Equivalent form is 3x negative 7 equals y negative 7. Numeric grounding is negative 2 negative 7 equals negative 9. No S, no network, no files, running in a void loop that just steps through the states and applies the math. This is purely just theoretical for my calculations array to see if it's concurrent, which the satellite array that's Google Earth can kind of prove because it used to be Google Earth, Mars, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto. Was hoping to find the old or very wanted exoplanet. If it was an exoplanet, hoping to find it. Um, let me update this real quick. This would be like the gift I want to give everybody that functions on my tech. By the way, let me update the screen again. Um, so this is the info that I just added, like you guys saw for the update. It's not showing it right now, but let me update an algorithmic intelligence that can get the job done, and we'll look at it in a different window. So this bytecode array doesn't function on like an EMC hack or EEMC hack for like changing of like, you know, INEIs or anything like instances of who I call or stuff like that. It's an instance of changing the way the CPU functions because of the fire, of the perpetual fire of the stabilized instance of overamped EMF within the CPU itself. So it makes a bitcode array, which those tend to come from instances of things like this. When this is turned on, it makes a Tesla coil. It makes an instance of volatile electricity on the inside of it. And when that's stabilized, it can create and permeate a bitcode array, especially if there's ever an instance of a magnet charging the central processing unit properly. Not necessarily charging, sorry, making sure the bit array functions properly. So basically you stabilize the overamped EMF, shock it, and perpetually stabilize the growth of that instance of bytecode. Right. So that's why I was looking at instances of that quarantine measure needing to be quarantined because of instances of malevolent viruses. None, as far as I know, none of them were like radio frequency or universal serial bus update viruses or anything like that. But yeah, so let's press enter here and see if this builds itself and generates and cycles the electricity. Because I am running on a lithium-ion battery and a perpetuation of stable flow from the outlet. So perfect. So maybe it should go into a window if it was made right by my other algorithmic intelligence that I use on this machine. It's the base Windows operating system. One second, it malfunctioned. It's not giving me a screen, an output of a screen to check and update. One second, I didn't get that right. Just laughing at a good joke. It generated a bytecode array properly to get the GUI window up. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so the step counter is up and running. Today is the 4th of April, or sorry, April 23rd, 2026 at 4:55 p.m. And the instance of the screen, I'm going to start updating you on it. It's updating step counter. X equals 139, Y equals 429. It should also be updating the other algorithmic intelligence on my machine, the algorithmic intelligence for my entire machine, and for the storage arrays. I like to talk an instance about a situational instance of RAM. So with RAM, you get functional transistors, other nodes, diodes, other things. Instances of running a whole voltage through it and a variance of whole voltage is totally concurrent and can make the biggest or largest storage device in history. So with that, those storage devices can culminatively run before you even play them with a few key bits of information. So with radio frequency processing, as far as I know, the instance of radio frequency processing can create an instance of making sure the translation is buffered or built through time. So you get an instance of playing a game that is in 3D like the dimensionals and systems that you're seeing on my screen. You can then make sure the system is updated potentially through time, which is kind of cool. As you can see, it's still updating. So I'm going to go back to that website. I'm going to reload it and see if it's updated at all. Excuse me. All right, everybody. So the next instance I'm going to live stream will be Google Earth again, or even better yet, let's look at Mars again. bring the Universal Math Sim into the background real quick. Gonna stop sharing that screen. I'm gonna generate another screen if you give me a second. And so not meaning that nasally, just meaning that as a genuine question. Because I know instances like this can make people antsy. They make me antsy. Oh, I got the wrong generational again. 1 second. Okay, so I just went by the square root of pi 3.159 by going by the square root of potentially 3x equals y, or the square root of it by 1.367. To get proper three-dimensionals and the whole universal sim without missing any key parts of the simulation. My computer might be functioning off slight modulations of the RAM storage and SSD storage. So the instances, therefore, would be found where the instances would be found where nothing should be lost, especially if the system is calculating the gravity of where we are and other systems are intact. And I know how to show you those two next, hopefully. Yeah, I'll grab this giant book, go through some math within it. This giant textbook as well. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing the other screen as well. I only have one person in here in Twitch. Um, I'll upload YouTube. Relay. As far as I remember, Bye.